welcome to the Melanated Air Hour. I am one of your gracious and humble co-hosts of the Melanated Air Hour. I am Lene Javette. I don't do this by myself. We have four other beautiful and amazing melanated queens that do this with me. You have Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks chiming in from Egypt. You have Madam President at One Madam President coming in from the ATL. And you have Keisha at We Inspire Brand. Keisha, where are you?
I'm in New York City.
Coming from New York City. New York City. Okay, New York. I'm in Phoenix. Hello. Hopefully, let me give a quick shout out to the All Black National Convention if you are going to be there, because we will be there this week. We cannot wait to see you. We're going to give y'all a shout out from Teddy, who will not be there with us. She will be there with us in spirit.
Yes, I will.
With in spirit, but the rest of us will be at the All Black National Convention. If you are going to be there, please make sure that you see us, give us some love, shake our hand, tell us that you watched the show. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us on Fly Nubian Queen. We have our own YouTube page now, so you can actually go and like and subscribe and follow us on YouTube at The Melanated Air. Also on Instagram, also on Facebook. So tune in to us. Today, we are talking about entrepreneurship. We're talking about business ownership. Is it for everybody? It ain't for everybody, but it should be. That's the conversation today. Keisha brought this conversation to us today, so I'm going to let her take us into this conversation on entrepreneurship versus career versus who is it for. Go ahead, take it away, Keisha.
Yes. I'm so excited to talk about this topic. I actually presented this topic on my channel a little over a year ago because I was an entrepreneur at the time and I was also in my full-time job. And what my full-time job was, I was a career coach. So I ran the career development department at a college. So I was helping people build businesses and I was helping people find careers. And I was just like, kind of like a tug of war, like, okay, which one is my passion? Like, which one do I want to do? Right. And I do also find, like, on social media, it's popular to be an entrepreneur now, right? Like everybody is an entrepreneur, but in my mind, I don't think that everyone knows what it takes to be an entrepreneur. So we have a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs that see the glitz and the glamour on social media. They see people riding in these expensive cars and going on vacations and it looks fun, right? But they don't see the nitty gritty. They don't see us staying up till 4:00 a.m. working on our business. They don't see us, having headaches and suffering from burnout if we're not careful, right? They don't see that side of entrepreneurship. So what do you ladies think? Like, should people jump ship and say, entrepreneurship is for me, like this job is not for me? Or do you think that, you could do both? What do you think?
Before we answer that question, I want to go to the comments. In the comments, let us know if you are an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur or a career professional. Talk to us in the comments. Let us know what you think. Chime in on this conversation. Go ahead. Sorry, y'all.
I absolutely think entrepreneurship is in most people, right? I think there's a small percentage of people who should not be entrepreneurs because they just don't have it in them. However, as Keisha said, you got to put in that work. You got to build the foundation, the baseline, get the education, get the mentors, watch people. I love people watching, learn about business, then start building it, not using that as a stumbling block, but using that as your foundation. But I think that the glitz and glamour tricks people into thinking it's easy, thinking you're going to ball out and make a lot of money in the beginning, thinking you're going to be having all these things that you may or may not have without putting in the work and putting in the effort. And it's the iceberg. You see the tip of the iceberg and you like, wow, you lucky, this and that. And like, nah, I've been doing this for years. I've been struggling for years. I've been hustling for years. So you see someone like Kevin Samuels, for instance, and you think he just blew up this year. And if you go to his YouTube, you see this brother been doing this for 5 years. He changed his branding strategy several times, and he has been grinding and hustling. So this success this year is the tip of the iceberg. And everything he's been doing below the last 5 years and probably before that is all the hard work. So as long as they're ready for that hard work and ready to learn and grow, entrepreneurship is for everyone.
Because people say, oh, such and such is an overnight success. And they're not an overnight success. You just found out about them overnight, right? But they're not an overnight success. I know sometimes when people see me, I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 8 years, right? But what people may not know is I planned to leave my job. I cashed out my 401k. So when I left, I had $50,000. I strategized how I was going to use that $50,000 in my business, but I didn't account for living expenses. So I was broke in 6 months. I had to do a crowdfunding campaign. I raised $10,000. And that was just to make back the money I needed to launch the business because I had gone broke. Then I had to move out of my house into my home with my mom because I didn't have no money. Then I had to send my son to go live with his dad. As a mother, you have to know what that means, right? So that's a sacrifice. I have to send my child someplace else so that I can have this business. And so now, 8 years later, people see me, I drive the car that I want, I have a house, I have multiple clients, and they're like, oh my God, you're so successful. Yeah, but the work, the pain, the suffering, the brokenness, the crazy odd and end jobs, the late nights, the no sleep, it takes a lot to become an entrepreneur. It's tenaciousness. It's rejection. It's putting your emotions to the side. It's prayer. It's meditation. I know they better pay my invoice. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot that goes into being an entrepreneur. And you're right. A lot of times people see the influencer side or the social media side or the 15th picture that you took to make entrepreneurship look beautiful, but they're not necessarily prepared for what it takes to walk into being an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
Chanel, what was it like for you starting the Freedom Company and becoming an entrepreneur? Was it everything you dreamed of, or was it a little bit different?
It was a little bit different. I'm still dreaming, okay? So one of the things that I noticed about entrepreneurship, and I think a lot of people who really don't understand the pathway and the journey between idea and execution. And one of the things that a lot of people do in our world in general is they got a good idea, but they don't know how to bring that idea to life, to fruition, and to a place where, basically they're making money from it. They can walk away from a day job. So I think that's one of the issues about, the fame, the oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm full-time entrepreneurship. Okay, that sounds really, really exciting until, like you said, Lene, you do not get that invoice paid and you don't have a legal team to go after it, or you are in the process and you have an agreement with a group of people and they have a team of 7. It's just a team of you, and you can't navigate that because you just constantly are the little person in giant spaces. So I think that entrepreneurship, like anything, you got to use your mind. You got to understand, what skill sets do I have that can generate money? Yeah. And I think that once you master your skill set, because I think that even if you are a full-time employee, you have an agreement with your employer and you are assigned a set of tasks that needs to be completed. Now, what happens is when you some kind of way decide to do this for yourself, oh snap, you got to do these tasks. Nobody's checking in with you. Nobody's forcing you, telling you that these things have to be completed by a certain time. So you getting your nap in and you ain't made no money. So it's like one of those things where you realize, guess what? Oh, snap, I have to govern myself. Responsible for self. It's so embarrassing when you have to govern yourself and you ain't done nothing. Like
Like,
it is a emotional. I mean, it's deranged. You be like, wow. Meanwhile, when I had an overseer looking over my shoulder, I was knocking stuff out left and right.
That's what it is. That is exactly it. That, you will hustle hard for that job. You will hustle hard.
I don't think. Oh, go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna pass the mic, but I would say that mind shift of entrepreneurship is so essential in order for you to do. And I'm not a big fan of Kevin Samuels, but guess what? We can't deny consistency. Nobody can deny, why some people have a large following, and some people don't. When you stick with it, this is what happens. People find you. People can see when you stick with it. So I think that entrepreneurship is definitely for those people who are committed to themselves, for sure.
Yes.
And I was going to say something similar to the comment Channing Lynch just made. I was going to say, I don't think entrepreneurship is for everybody. I don't think entrepreneurship is for a lot of people.
I don't think entrepreneurship is for some entrepreneurs.
But my Black people, my B1 people, ownership is for everyone. So you don't have to be an entrepreneur in order to own, right? So you can own stocks. You can own real estate, right? So you're not in the forefront. You're not the one, making the decisions, but you're investing so that you have an extra stream of income. So you don't have to be the one making the moves and staying up 24 hours, 48 hours, making sure this business runs. But you could be someone in the background that says, okay, I believe in this company. Let me invest my money. Let my money work for me. And then you go work your 9 to 5. I have a friend, I was talking to him about entrepreneurship a few years ago. I was looking at this business opportunity, and he was just like, oh, like, good luck to you. I could never be an entrepreneur. And in a world, right, where we talked about earlier, where like everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, he said that. And I was just like, what you mean you don't want to be an entrepreneur? Like, what you trying to say? And he was just like, no, like I could never be an entrepreneur because that's just not for me. He said, I love going to my 9 to 5. I love my career and I don't want to run a business. He was like, you have to know yourself, right? Like that's not for me. And I'm just like, I respect it. I feel you. Okay. So yes, like entrepreneurship is definitely not for everyone, but guys, you have to own, like if you want to pass down, and we've spoken about legacy on past shows. If you want something to pass down to the next generation, and then the next generation, like we have to start looking at other ways of doing that. It doesn't just have to be entrepreneurship.
Right.
The thing that I like to tell people, whether you are a business owner or not, is everybody's an entrepreneur. That's the reality. Everybody's an entrepreneur and everybody is a CEO. How you run your business is up to you, right? So if you get up and you go to work every day, that's your hustle. That's your business. Your business is getting up and going to that job every day. Or you are the entrepreneur and CEO of your personal business, but you are an entrepreneur. We talked the other day about a brand. You have a brand, whether you are a business owner or an employee. You are an entrepreneur, whether you go to a day job or you go to your own job, because you are doing some type of labor or work that generates income. The difference is, if we talk about securing the bag, right? As an employee, you go and pull your funds out of somebody else's bag. You still are a business. You get to decide who your client is, your company that you work for, that's your client. They tell you, based on your skill set, we would like to hire you for $60,000 a year to do this job. Same thing my clients pay me for. I'm going to pay you this amount of money to help me do this. Same thing. The difference is somebody else is controlling how much you get to pull out of the bag, as opposed to an entrepreneur that says, this is my bag and I'm going to keep it. But everybody is an entrepreneur. Everybody gets to decide how much they're going to get paid. Everybody gets to decide what their talent and skills are worth. Everybody does. We're all entrepreneurs. And that's why sometimes when I'm talking to a person who has a corporate job, I'll be like, you literally get to demand your wage the same way I demand my wage. You get to look at your skill set and say, this in particular client job is not paying me what I'm worth, what I deserve. So let me go find another client job to get paid what I'm worth. So if you even looking at your corporate job, if you look at that from the entrepreneur perspective, that's your client. And if your client ain't acting right and treating you right, go get you a new client, find you a new job, use your skill sets, present yourself in a different way, and get paid what you're worth. But we have to have, like what you said, ownership mentality. If you walk into your job, oh, this is the only job I have. This is the only person or only company that's going to pay me. I wish I would look at my clients and be like, this is all you're going to pay me. And that's not any shade. It's just a different mindset as an entrepreneur. But you can literally use that entrepreneur mindset in your corporate job. Like, I wish you would try to not pay me my worth.
That's it. I want everyone in the comments to let me know one time you were paid for something that you were good at, but you didn't expect the money. So whether you know how to set up audio visual, you can put flat screens on walls, whether you do some pressure washing on the side, you go to the farmer's market on the weekend, let me know when you've got paid for something that you really do it because you enjoy it, not because you want the money. And once you do that and you think back to doing that, I want you to realize that we all have it. That multiple streams is so important. All of you are good at something. And that something is something that other people are probably not good at. So you can always sell your talents. You can sell your joys. The IRS wants you to want to do what you enjoy doing and get paid for. And they want to take less money away from you every year to do it. So this isn't just about how you see yourself and how you feel yourself, because once you are a business, there are tax advantages. Now, I'm not a tax professional. You need to find one, CPA, tax lawyer, whatever. But I've been doing my taxes a long time, and through all of my businesses, I see that tax benefit, and it is huge. Even the MLMs. I'm not a big MLM fan. Multi-level marketing, the Mary Kay, Amway,
TLC,
it's endless. It's endless.
Travel,
like all those things. But I started off with those because as soon as I started selling Mary Kay, I would make a tiny order, and then I could start deducting my office, my cell phone bill, any office supplies. If I want a new laptop, all of that I was able to deduct from my taxes. So that's the first point. Please take that, think of what you're good at, and think about how it doesn't have to be a business. And back to what Keisha said, if you want to be an angel investor, you want to be a venture capitalist, you don't see yourself in the forefront, that's fine. If you're giving people money to start their businesses, then you probably should have some kind of legal structure. You probably do need an LLC so that money flows through that. So you're still an entrepreneur. Even if you're a silent partner, even if you're on the backside of it, you can still get that money and take advantage of those tax breaks. And that's really what, for me, it breaks down to is don't be naive to think that you can't do something. And there are people that are capitalizing on it can do that. They just know a little more about the business and the money side than you do. So learn that, and then you can blow up.
And like she said, a little more. Like she said, it's a little more. You will be amazed. So you guys are posting some really good comments. So I'm actually going to go to the comments so we can answer some of the questions that are in the comments. Before I do that, I'm going to reset the room. If you're just tuning in, this is the Melanated Air Hour. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday. 4 or 5 of us get together, melanated complexion, talking about life, usually from a business perspective. We can catch us on Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on the Melanated Air Hour. So I'm going to go to Natasha C. Perkins. She says, what was the one thing that made you make the first step to your dream? I'm assuming she's talking about stepping out and becoming an entrepreneur. What was the one thing that made you step out and become an entrepreneur?
I'm just going to say that I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a corporatepreneur. I still have a 9 to 9. I still have a 9 to 9.
She said 9 to 9, not 9 to 5.
9 to 5. Y'all see that, right?
So here's one of the things that I will say, what has started to entice my no. I've gotten calls for other opportunities that's within my day job, and I've been positioned to say no a little bit more. And one of the reasons that I'm starting to get this feeling of nobody is going to take your dream, pick it up, and kiss it on the cheek and set it back down. You are going to have to be fully responsible for yourself. And one of the things that I was thinking too, even just from a creative standpoint, is like sometimes we get mad, or sometimes we envy where some people are, but they never stop. And so we have to be accountable for that too. So I think one of the things that allowed me to take a big leap of pretty much not allowing other people to dictate what I want for myself is understanding that what I have inside of me is a personal responsibility. And because it's a personal responsibility, I'm not putting that on my job. I'm not putting it on my parents. I'm not putting it on nobody but myself.
Yeah.
I think for me, I just did it. Like, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. I always knew that I wanted to run my own business, and I did not want to work a 9 to 5 forever. So as early as junior high school, I knew like that's what I wanted to do. So for me, it was kind of dibbling and dabbling in different things until I found my thing that I was going to be consistent with. So for a while, like in my early 20s, like I was trying to do real estate. I was trying to get into real estate. And then I was trying to do, some other stuff with friends that didn't work out. And mainly because we were like just overthinking, right? Like there are businesses that are so successful now off of the idea. And I remember we spoke about like, what is an idea worth off of an idea that we had 10 plus years ago. So 10 plus years ago, me and a group of friends, we were talking about promoting Black-owned businesses. So getting a whole bunch of Black-owned businesses together and then them paying us to promote them. And now I see all these pages on social media that do it, right? So had we just been consistent with our idea, did more research, right? Did more research, educated ourselves, because we were trying to do it on our own, but none of us knew what we were doing. Had we did that, like we would have been so successful in that business. Like I have no doubt that we would have been. And then, fast forward to a few years ago, it was my t-shirts. So like, I just wanted a way to inspire and empower the Black community through positive affirmations. And I said, hey, I could do that on t-shirts. So for me, and I speak about this all the time, you need to discover your purpose. So before even going out there and saying like, oh yeah, I want to do this because I want to make money. Like, no, like, what is your purpose? What is your passion? What is that deeper meaning? For me, it was inspiring and empowering my people. And I'm like, okay, well, how can I do this? Right? Because when you know your why, then you can ask how. And then when you ask how you can do it, then you start educating yourself on how you can build that business. So for me, it was the t-shirts, inspiration to my community, and then building from there. And like I said, being consistent. Like you have to be consistent.
That is
I think you ultimately know in your gut. There's something in you, right? You ultimately know. It's whether or not you're going to actually follow through on it. When I started going to college, I knew I was taking business classes. I didn't know what they were for. I always knew I never had a job more than 2 years. Never, not one job in all my life. I could not hold a job longer than 2 years. So I knew I couldn't work for somebody. Like I was something, right? How come I can't hold a job for 2 years? Until my last gig, which was where I got my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna try to become an entrepreneur. But I will tell you, and this is way too much information, but I'm gonna try to make a short story even shorter. Something in my gut was like, you need to change. You need to make some changes. So I cut my hair. My hair was like this long. I cut it like up to here. And I was like, okay, I made a change. And my spirit was like, no, boo, that's not it. I was like, what is it? So I got a breast reduction. And I was like, okay, well, maybe my back is hurt. I've got breast reduction. No, boo, that's not it. And then one day I was like, I'm going to leave my job. Like just, I can't even, it was transcending, I guess that's the right word. Where literally it was an out of body experience when I came to the decision to leave my job, and it just clicked and it made sense. And I haven't looked back. So the easy answer is you already know. You already know. You just have to trust that and trust yourself. Because I think people struggle with not really knowing and trusting that entrepreneurship is for them. And if you don't know, you won't jump all the way in. You won't get the training. You won't get a mentor. You won't get coaching. You won't find out how to bring that thing to existence because you're not trusting that this is what you're supposed to be doing. So you don't go all in. But if you go all in, sacrifice doesn't hurt you. Going without doesn't hurt you. Not getting your nails, not traveling, not having the funds. It's all part of the game. And it doesn't weigh on you or take a toll on you, but you have to be sold out to whatever that thing is that you want to jump into. Teddy, did you want to add something or go to the next question?
Just real quick, I want to say that, so I've been doing the same job for 24 years, so different than Renee. And several years ago, I knew, because being in the military, you get the advantage of knowing at 20 years, you get to retire and you get a check for the rest of your life. So I always had that security there, right? But I knew I wanted to do more. I wanted to be more. And then I knew that people around me, as you say in the comments, a lot of people, they said they just don't think they can do it. They don't know how. What are the resources? I said, that's going to be my business. I'm going to help people figure out how to start their businesses. I'm going to be that person that they can come to that has the education in the background, that has the degrees, that has the platform, and I can help you talk out your idea. And guess what? I'll sign an NDA because I ain't going to do that work for you. I don't want your idea. I'm not going to blow you up because I'm doing other things, right? So that's another problem. People don't want to share their dream. They don't want to share their ideas. So they're holding it too tight. Don't even want to tell your sister or your mama. And then nobody's helping you grow it and build it. So I knew I wanted to help people start businesses. TheRealTeddyTalks.com is a 1-year strategy to build side businesses. So if you want to do a side hustle, you want to go to full-time hustle, that is what it is. That is what I do. And I'm following my own strategy because I saw someone else post that they were making 6 figures, I think it was. It's already off the screen. They're like, so entice them, I think is what it said. And you can do it. You can make 6 figures in your side business, or you're in your side business or switching to it full time. But you have to know what you want. You have to know how to get it, and you have to build your customers. And if you're not willing to do that, that money is not going to just fall in your lap. You have to work hard and you got to hustle at it, and that will happen for you. But you grind. And if you look at all 4 of us, and even Faye Bishop, who's not on here, we all doing it. We're doing it big. We are posting. We are creating courses. We're offering consultations. We're coming up with packages and deals, going to all Black national conventions. We are speaking. We're on various platforms. Like that don't happen overnight.
Right.
And I'm still working my 9 to 9, and so is my president. Both got our 9 to 9s in addition to this. So that's even an extra layer of hard work. Put in the time and you can make it happen. Absolutely.
All right. So we have about 20, 30 minutes left. I want to get to as many of your guys' questions as possible. So I'm going to ask my co-host and myself included. We're going to try to keep our answers a little bit short and concise so that we can get to as many questions as possible, because you guys are asking some really, really, really good questions that I feel like our community needs to have answered and addressed. And I'm glad that you guys are here with us today, trusting us to give you these answers. So even that was too long. So let me get to the question. Chino, I apologize if I messed your name up. Chinoy Weeks. How do you know what you want to sell or what your service is going to be? I'll take it since nobody started with. I would say talent and or skill. I actually walk my clients. So there sometimes people will come to me and say, I want to start a business, but I don't know what to do. So we'll usually walk through what are some experience. Either what is something that you're good at, something that you think you can sell, a talent or a skill, right? So sometimes people will sell a service. So I sell my intellectual property. My mind is what makes me money. I'm a strategist, right? I am good at coming up with strategies. So that is what I sell. Somebody else might not be good at that. And they say, I want to have a product. Okay, cool. What type of product do you want to sell? What is something that you use in your everyday life? What is something that you can incorporate? So there's a variety of different ways of coming up with something that you can sell. I usually say that people go into business for one of three things: purpose, passion, or profit. If you're lucky, you get to do all three.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people will have something that they're passionate about. I really want to save the whales. I love walking dogs. I'm passionate about this and I would do it for free. That's cool, because a lot of times you don't get paid for passion. It's unfortunate, but you don't.
Mhm.
Or there's a purpose, right? Something has to happen. There's this grandiose purpose that somebody has to make a house. Like, we have to have houses overhead. There's a purpose for that. And so somebody will say, I'm going to start a construction company because there's a purpose. Houses have to get built. Buildings have to get built. And you're going to get paid if you're doing something that there's a purpose. Other people are going into business for profit, right? You have a lot of people that are becoming realtors right now because the real estate game is booming. So whether they like it or not, they see that there's money there. And so they'll start a business around that. Again, if you're lucky, you'll find something that you're passionate about that has a purpose and you can profit from it. Hello, that's what I do. So that's the goal, but there's a variety of different ways to get there.
Yep.
Everybody get that answer?
Yep.
Okay.
I think that filled it up. We got
Okay. Ryan says, I'm having a difficult time for people to support my business. This is why many that I know are reluctant to start a business. We refuse to support each other. Ooh, who wants to take
Go outside your circle, Ryan.
Yes.
Stop looking for the people closest to you to help you blow up. I won't say they won't do it. Some of you are lucky and you have that supportive network right there close to you. But for most of us, my biggest riders are people I've never met. I've met them through my platform, through their comments on my YouTube videos, people who bought my courses. So cut the attachment, cut that umbilical cord to those closest to you, and find your tribe. Find your people, find the people that love you, your service, what you're selling, and then focus on them. That's your new persona. Talk to that person who fills up that crowd, start selling to them. Then when you start blowing up over there, your friends and family gonna follow up right behind them, and your neighbors and people in your town. So you might have to leave them behind. I mean, no shade, no hate, but you're going on to bigger and better things with different people who are going to support you and pay $75 for your sweatshirt because they think it's worth that, versus someone saying, "Ooh, that's too high." Well, then don't buy it. It ain't for you. Okay.
Right. That's right. And can I add, look, I just want to say shout out to my family and friends, because those are like some of my biggest supporters. So I am blessed and lucky to have that. But I do tell my clients that you have to be willing to pay to get in front of people. Don't think that you're going to post a little post on social media and people are just going to flock to you. Like, that's not how it works. And when I started out, that's what I thought. I was just like, oh, okay, I have my little, business Instagram account and I'm going to post a picture here and there of my shirt and people are just going to come find my shirt. And it's just like, no, like, you have to know how to position yourself and get in front of people. As Teddy said earlier, we are on, me and the lovely ladies here, we are on multiple platforms, right? And that didn't happen overnight. Like, what did we do to get in front of people, right? So legally, right? I'm not saying, go out and do nothing crazy, but what are you going to do to get in front of people? Are you going to do Facebook ads, right? Are you going to find influencers? Like, what are you going to do to get in front of more people, to get in front of your target audience? And when it comes to your family, they may not like your stuff, and that's okay, right? Like, you don't want people purchasing anything that they're not going to like, love, that they're not going to rock for you. Like, you want people to purchase your stuff that really like and enjoy it. So definitely look outside of your family and friends if that is not working for you.
Definitely.
All right. So Florida Brown Jones, she says, I'm an unlicensed 30-year interpreter. I don't get paid, but it's my passion. Florida, all I'm going to say is, if it's your passion, turn it into something. You already see that there's a purpose. Get paid for it, but get licensed, right? So if you're doing anything for 30 years that you're passionate about, get licensed and get paid. Ashanti said, where did you go for funding and coaching? That is such a good question, Ashanti.
So there's a course for that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a course for that.
I was about to be like, I have a course for that. But it's multifaceted, right? When you're just getting started. So I am self-taught. I am self-taught, self-trained, because when I first got started, I didn't have any money. So a lot of the stuff I learned early on was YouTube University, hustle and grind, mistakes. Like that's how I got started. Then as money started coming in, I started paying for conferences, summits, coaching, strategy sessions. And then I started to read. So now I'm like bursting at the seams with strategy, funding, bootstrapping. But then also I did a crowdfunding campaign. So I raised $10,000 in 30 days. Yes, I do have a course called the Crowdfunding Blueprint if you want to learn how to raise $10,000 in 30 days. I also had to learn how to start a business, right? On a budget. So got a course for that. How to start a business like a mogul, the Mogul Blueprint. How you do it is you find people online that you see, know, like, and trust. who have businesses. And you talk to them. You tune in. You purchase their products, their goods, and services. So the question again was, where did you go for funding? Bootstrapped and crowdfunding. For coaching, I paid for people who were doing what I wanted to do. I got in group coaching programs. I paid for regular coaching strategy sessions. And I do those things. Teddy does those things. Keisha does those things. So if anybody that's on here right now is interested in getting some assistance with their business, you can go to my website, www.lenajavette.com. Teddy's website is therealteddytalks.com. Keisha's, what's your website, Keisha?
I have two. So one for my apparel and one for my coaching. My coaching one is weinspirebrand.com.
Boom. Okay, so that's that answers the coaching question.
And you know what, ladies, I had an idea, and y'all ain't got to commit to this now. I'm not even committing to it now. But since this is all in our wheelhouse, what I would like to present the next time we do a topic like this is for the live. I would be more than willing to provide a coupon code to my courses. That way, those of you that are interested, if the other ladies want to join in, that's up to you. And y'all can do that right then during the live. Maybe we'll let it run like a half hour after, and then you can take advantage of those. I know you ladies might have some specials for All Black National Conventions as well. So I'm thinking about stay tuned. I know. Stay tuned. We'll do that. We'll advertise. I don't know. I'm going to advertise. It's going to be live. So if you're watching live, you catch it. If you ain't, you're going to miss it. But yeah,
so that means you need to be tuned in. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Go follow each of us on our social media right now so that you know when we have this conversation, so you can get tuned in. Okay, get tuned in.
And I'll let you know. I'm going to offer a coupon code on this live at this time. So be following us and you'll get the notification.
I love that idea.
Find out.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to answer this one really quickly and move on. Ashanti, how did you choose your registered agent? It's not difficult to choose a registered agent. Most states have registered agent companies. They're like $40, maybe $90 for the year. Yep. Super easy. It's not anything that to stress over. Find one in your state, sign up, and keep it moving. Very easy. So we're not going to harp on that one.
Do we have more questions? Because I actually have a question that I would after this one, I guess.
Yeah, let me see. How do you gain a routine for staying on track and not getting off track? I guess that's a question if somebody wants to take that.
One of my clients actually asked me this question the other day, and I told her, like, I have a schedule. So every day I am focused on like a particular like topic. So maybe like Wednesdays, I'll do like batch content or something. But every Sunday I plan out my week. So I know what I am going to be posting on social media. I know what I, have to do during the week. And, sometimes things don't get done, right? That's the reality of the situation. But look at what's priority for you and your business, during that day. And then, focus on that. So every Sunday, like I said, I plan out my week, everything that I need to get done for that week. And I split it up into the days of the week.
A good planner, a good Google Calendar, a good something that you can you have to put it out and write out your plan. You have to make SMART goals. So you have to have time behind your goals to say, on this day at this time, I'm going to do this for this long. And you just follow it, because routine and consistency will get through the suck. So even if you don't want to do it, you have it scheduled and you need to do it. And then after you do that every day, it's going to be more routine, and then you'll find your flow, and you'll be doing that thing mindlessly and enjoying it, because you have to find your flow. If you guys are doing something and you're not getting into that flow where that is the only thing on your mind and that is your focus at that moment, then you probably won't be doing it very long. And if you are, you won't enjoy doing it. Mm-hmm. So consistency and time-based goals is going to be your best friend.
I'll use Faye's not here, but I'm gonna use one of her analogies. I'm gonna use a theism right now. Don't be emotional with your time, right? Don't go off of your feelings. I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like making these phone calls. I don't feel like don't use your feelings. Like, just do what needs to get done. Like, Nike had the best slogan. Just do it. Literally, just do it, whether you feel like it or not, because you're not gonna feel like doing none of this. I don't feel like writing my dissertation right now. I don't feel like fighting this natural hair to try to get it into the ponytail so that I can do the live with y'all. I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I only did what I felt like, I would be butt naked talking to y'all right now. like we just don't be transparent today. So don't rely on your emotions. They will betray you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Keisha. You said you had a question.
Okay. So you guys know, like, we're all entrepreneurs, right? And all right. So would you, or do you want your partner, Teddy, I know that you are married, but do you want your partner to be an entrepreneur as well? Or can your partner have a 9-to-5?
Good question. This is a good question.
I'll answer real quick. I will say that I definitely, me and my husband like jive, like we are connected. So I like to do things together, right? But as I said, I don't know if it's last show or before that, he wasn't all for my plan, the Real Teddy Talks, right in the beginning. Like, he supported me, but he didn't think it was going to blow up like it did. So then he kind of came over. So to answer your question, I want us to be a team, right? Like a conglomerate. You know, I want us to work together, build together, and he's half owner of my business, whether he's participating or not. So I prefer that he be participating. However, if he ain't gonna participate, then you need to be doing that other thing, whether it's a 9-to-5 or his own business. You know, my business ain't for everybody, nor should it be. But I really think the family, the Black family, is important, and business ownership is important. So as I said, he's half owner, whether he's doing it or not. But I really want us, because I want to teach it to my kids. I want them to know business ownership. I don't want them to be struggling with the school thing and all that if that's not what they want to do. I want us to make money. So I prefer that he works with me, but it's always his choice to do whatever he wants to do.
So I'm going to say I've actually gone back and forth with this question. Early on, I said we should both be entrepreneurs because nobody gets an entrepreneur like an entrepreneur. And then I dated an entrepreneur that worked like I did, and it just did not work. So now what I say is I don't care what kind of job he has. I do care if he has one. And by job, I mean business, you know, makes money. Let's say makes money. And I guess I do, because y'all know what it is. What I care about is that he doesn't slow me down or impede what I'm doing, my process, right? I'm already kind of moving at a certain speed. I kind of weave in and out of different lanes and conversations and rooms and things of that nature. And so I more care that he can bob and weave in those things, whether that's having a corporate job or being an entrepreneur. I care that we have time for each other. I care that I can have a business conversation with him, whether he has a corporate job or he's an entrepreneur. Can I at least converse with you about what I have going on? Can we talk marketing plans? Can we talk strategies? Can I talk to you about my launch? Can you weigh in on this new logo? What do you think about this new product I want to do? I care if he cares about the Black community. Like there's these things that I care about that help me to be a good entrepreneur and a good business owner and a good leader in my community. And I care that he cares about those things and our energy matches. Not so much the type of job that he has. But if we mesh in all of those things, because there's some really dope dudes that have really good jobs that maybe run a nonprofit or donate their time doing something else. They're B1. They want their woman to win. They support and they get those things. They're not entrepreneurs. So I don't think you have to be an entrepreneur, but I think you have to know how to love an entrepreneur and how to support an entrepreneur and how to let them do what they do. You can't be, you were just out, you were just here, you were doing that, you were always traveling, you were always on a plane. I am.
And I'm going to keep doing it.
You want to ride, boo? You want to go? Like, let's go. Like they paying for the room. Let's go. That's what I want. Somebody that's like, hey, let's go.
Right.
It seems like I'm wondering, is the question like, is this person going to lack if they're not an entrepreneur, or if they are a 9-to-5 or something like that? Because what I think is, if you're an entrepreneur and the person that you're seeing or you are heavily interested in, and you guys are in some kind of partnership, then I think whatever works. It's wonderful when you meet somebody who gets what you're doing. Oh man, you're ordering, say for instance, if I'm an interior decorator and I meet somebody and they're into construction, that's a wonderful pair, I think what happens is, we're under the impression that we can get people on the opposite end of the spectrum and we can all just make things work, when we're just totally living and doing everything completely opposite of what we both desire. So I think, the question is, can a person date an entrepreneur? Not pretty much can an entrepreneur date a person who's not an entrepreneur. I think an entrepreneur can date probably anybody, because they're used to handling, managing, and a good entrepreneur anyway, handling, managing, negotiating, also compromising. So I don't think it would be difficult if you're an even-minded person and you can do that and have that approach. But can a person, like you say, Lene, can they handle the weight of being unavailable, quick changes, clients saying, hey, we're going to start completely over in the middle of an anniversary dinner, like I'm imagining that these are some of the things that people who have a successful business have to deal with. But I don't think what a person's occupation, I don't know if it plays a bigger role into the role of them wanting to be with you in general, like whatever you are. If we're committed to making this work, and maybe I've been reading too much fairy tale stuff, but if you like have some kind of commitment to making it work, then I don't really feel like what your occupation will matter. But you got to be doing something, like you said.
Right.
Look,
some of that is boundaries. Like the point, this specifically to the point you just made. Some of that is boundaries. A lot of times when you're a startup entrepreneur, you're just getting started, your boundaries are jacked up. You're jumping through hoops. You're doing a lot, so you're really unavailable. As you build your business, and one of the things I teach my clients right now is build your business with the end in mind. Do not start your business doing too much and with loosey-goosey boundaries, because your clients and customers will assume that that's how you run your business. So when you go to tighten those reins, they don't know what to do, because you're giving them so much access to you.
Yeah, I want to get Fanetta's question.
Wait, no. I want to address that. I'm getting to that, because I definitely, I'm literally going into that one, but I wanted to hit that one first on boundaries, because I saw it, and so I'm assuming she's asking me based on what I said. So I definitely want to address this, because I get this question all the time. So Fanetta asked, no disrespect or pun intended, where does everything you just said leave room for him to be the man that God has called him to be? Just asking a question, no disrespect. I get this question, not like this, but I get it a lot. I get it from men and I get it from women, and not just me, a couple of other women that I know who roll in the circle that I roll with, or roll the way that I roll. And it's a very, I don't want to say discouraging question, but it always rubs me weird, because I feel like the assumption is that there has to be room left for a man where, and I'm gonna try to say this in a way that's not disrespectful, mean, or rude, but I take care of myself. I'm good. Like I am good, right? The role or the thing, how men look at relationship is, in my humble opinion, right? The breadwinner. I got to be there to take care of you. I got to be there to pay bills. And those are not necessarily the things that I need. I like those things. I would love for a man to come and pay my bills and do those things, but I don't necessarily need those things because I do them. So the things that I look forward to and for in a man, they're priceless stuff. It's not the things that you would consider, she needs a man to do that. No, I need a man to rub my back at the end of the day, to talk about my business with, to help me to stay calm and cool, collective, to not go crazy, to hold my hand when I walk on the beach, to travel with me, to hold my hand. Like, it's priceless stuff. Paying my bills is cool, but because I can do that myself, it's not mandatory. It would be nice, teamwork makes the dream work. We build an empire together. Those things are cool, but it's the priceless stuff that I pray for when I'm praying to God about my husband. It's the stuff that I can't do for myself. A man that can pray over me, a man that can help me in my financial organization, right? So for me, there's a lot of space in my room for a man. There's a lot of space in my business for a man. There's a lot of space in my day-to-day for a man, but it's not what people might consider to be traditional. The man's going to go out and clob the meat on the head and come home and cook it and fry it, and I am the man. It's not that for me. Do I know how to submit? I do. Do I want a man to lead? I absolutely do. But I saw this quote from Jill Scott, and it's the best way that I can explain it. And she said, if you can tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, then you can't tell me what to do. So if a man comes into my life and our energy matches and we can roll, I am down. I'm submitting. He gets the lead. Where he says go, we go. But if you can't lead.
Yeah. Add to that, Lene, I think there's this misconception that if someone is a career in their career and they're with someone that's an entrepreneur, that person that's an entrepreneur is making more money than the person that's in their career. There are a lot of successful people in their career making six figures and above. And I'm not saying that this is what the comment was saying, but it just reminded me of that just because someone is working a 9-to-5 or a 9-to-9, as Madam President puts it, and what Madam President is doing, that doesn't mean that they're not successful or making a lot of money. You can have an entrepreneur making only $20,000 a year, but because it's their passion and purpose, they're okay with that $20,000 a year, and they're doing what they do. And then they have a husband that's maybe making $250,000 a year. So we have to also get out of the mindset that just because someone has a 9-to-5, they're not as successful or not making as much money as someone that is an entrepreneur.
I want to segue into the Tasha Perkins question. It says, do you believe that you should be able to run your home successfully before you start your business? And I think the two questions are kind of alike, because if your home, and this goes even back to B1, if your home isn't in order, how can you build a community? If your home isn't in order, how can you build a successful business? Because you'll be in chaos at home trying to do something that's organized and streamlined and has good flow in your business, and the two aren't going to be together. So on this show, I'm Teddy Ewing, but at home, I'm Mrs. Ewing, and I'm always my husband's wife. So our home rhythm with our kids and all that is completely different than what this is. And I have to respect all of those lanes, including my 9-to-5, including me being, the military was a hard adjustment for my husband because he met me when I was going to school. So he didn't see me in my all full military self as a commanding officer. So he was like, whoa, who is this person? And with all this, this extraness going on, telling people what to do. And I'm like, this is what I do, So he had to find happiness and comfort in that person who I was at work versus who I come home when I'm Mrs. Ewing versus being Major Ewing. Like it's a different person. So business is the same way. If I'm the CEO of a company, I'm a CEO of that company. It don't mean I'm CEO of my house. You know, my husband still gets to do what he does, and I still do what I do, and we do it together.
Say it again for the people in the back. I have that fight all the time. CEO Lene is not just Lene, around the way girl, hang out, kick it, let's go square up. You know what I'm saying? Like who I am online in my business in the boardroom is who I am online in my business in the boardroom. When I come home, I take CEO hat off and I just want to kick it. I want my man to take the lead. I just want to be a girl. Right. Like, you got this, boo. Entrepreneur is out the door.
Yeah.
But sometimes people have a hard time separating the entrepreneur alpha female with just female, like just a girl. Like, that's it. I just want to kick it. Regular stuff like everybody else. I don't want to walk around with the alpha thing all day long. It's tiring.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
And while we're on the topic, I am looking for a husband.
She ain't playing.
I'm not playing.
If you know, okay, so before we go out, before we close, we're going to do this because there's enough of y'all on here. So, Keisha, tell the people what you're looking for. If y'all know somebody like this, y'all let Keisha know. Tell them what you're looking for. They might have a brother or a cousin or an uncle or somebody. Tell them what you're looking for.
Yes. All right. Oh, this is fun. Yay. Okay. I need someone that is B1 first and foremost. Like, he has to be for his Black community. He has to want to empower, inspire the Black community, uplift the Black community in some way. He has to be a spiritual man, not religious, but spiritual. You know, we have to connect on that. I want somebody that is equally yoked. I want someone that has the financial freedom mentality. So that doesn't mean that he's an entrepreneur per se, but he understands that ownership is important. So maybe he has a 9-to-5 or a 9-to-9, and he is invested in real estate and he's invested in the stock market, right? I want someone who understands me culturally. So just because you are Black, right, it doesn't mean that you get me and my culture. It doesn't mean that we're gonna vibe out and slow dance to R&B music. And that's what I want. Like, put on some Jodeci for me, okay? And I could go on and on, but essentially, like, those are the biggest things. Those are the most important things to me. Like, someone that, like I said, that is equally yoked with me, that is B1, and we get each other, right? And he has to love to travel as well. Just put it out there. And he has to be affectionate. Like, don't be, oh yeah, no, you have to love me, right? I'm delicate. I'm a woman. I'm feminine.
And if he has a brother,
another day.
We got NYC, we got Arizona. Like, make it happen, y'all. Y'all got connections.
Oh my God. All right, guys. If we find our husband based on y'all's recommendation, referral, or DM or hookup, we will definitely shout you out.
Yes.
You get an affiliate commission on that, okay?
Yes. I was gonna say, you'll get a one-on-one with me for free.
Oh my God. So y'all can see we like to have a good time talking Black, talking about what's going on in the Black community, talking about entrepreneurship. It should be fun, right? You want a coach, a mentor, a strategist that knows how to have a good time. They know how to talk business. Their business is good. Their receipts add up, but they also know how to have a good time and not be stuffy. And that's literally what we do here at the Melanated Hour on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. We all individually do it as well on our individual pages, which you can see our handles on the screen. You can find Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks, Keisha at We Inspire Brand, Madam President at One Madam President with the Z. You can find me online at I Am Lene Javette. Today we are talking about business ownership. Is it for everybody? It is not, but it should be. We also talked about the fact that everybody is an entrepreneur. Everybody has a client, whether your client is your job or the clients and customers that you go out and get yourself personally. Before we go, I'm gonna go around the room, give everybody about 10 seconds to close out with your final thought of the day before we bid everybody farewell.
I just want to say real quick, we love y'all. We thank you for your support. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. If you have questions, reach out in the DMs, go to our websites. A lot of us have one-on-one consultation, emails usually on the website. Reach out and see if we can help you build your dream or at least get it started, or just talk in the comments. Whatever it is, it ain't got to be serious, it can be big, it can be little. Do that. That is why we're here, to impart our wisdom on you so that you don't have to start from zero like many of us had to. So we are here to help you get a few steps ahead so that it's not so difficult.
Yes. And I just want to say, I saw one of the questions earlier was, how do you find your passion or your purpose? And I don't really think you find your passion or your purpose. I think it finds you. So whatever it is, it's already embedded in you. So just dig deep, whether you just have to take time to, sit by yourself and, do something you love, do something that feeds your soul. And all of those things will come up, right? So take time to yourself, sit in silence, meditate, do whatever you have to do, pray, whatever you need to do. And those things will come up for you. Your passion and your purpose finds you.
Yes.
I just want to say that, Lene, I need more than 10 seconds really quickly.
Go ahead.
I just want to say as quickly as possible that I'm in Atlanta. So I ran into this woman who had a 20,000 foot warehouse that did product fulfillment. Now, looking at this woman, you would never know in a million years. I said, well, what's your Instagram? And I began to follow her. And she basically had about 1,200 followers, didn't have a large following. But, this woman was literally owner, operator of a 20,000 square foot facility, and just really kind of highlighted to me, do you want to be successful or do you want to be well known? You got to come to those terms with yourself, because I want you all to know we can learn a lot from a lot of people that's not flashy. There's a lot of people that is in our community that have a lot of access to knowledge and know-how that is not very vocal about it. And I just don't want us to pass that up, thinking that success means a lot of followers. Success means that everybody knows how much we got. There's a lot of people that are truly moving in silence and are doing very well for themselves and their family. And if you're a person who truly desire to have wealth and entrepreneurship, don't be afraid to do it quietly either. It is possible.
Yes.
Man, drop the microphone. You are telling the absolute truth. There's this lady, this coach that I follow. I say she might have 1,200 people that follows her, maybe 1,200 people that follows her. This chick is bringing in $7 million a year. Ooh. So I would ask, do you want to look successful? Or do you want to be successful?
Yeah.
Do you want to look wealthy or do you want to be wealthy? And numbers, social media numbers lie.
Lies.
Deposits don't.
Lies.
Receipts don't. A couple of years ago, there was this social media influencer. She had 1 million followers. This is a white girl. 1 million followers on Instagram. She launched a t-shirt company, some type of an on-demand t-shirt company brand, if you will. Launched it, didn't sell one shirt. Not a one. With 1 million followers. So does she look influential? How did she get those 1 million followers? Who's tuning in? Who's listening? Are they engaged? Like, how do you have 1 million people that follow you and not one person is interested in something that you bought? Was it branded properly? Did you know your target market? Do you know what the people, like all that to say social media lies. Social media numbers lie, right? If somebody were to look at my numbers, they'd be like, oh, less than 5,000 people follow you on Instagram. Well, 70,000 people follow me on Facebook. 14,000 people follow me on Facebook. 9,000 people follow me on Facebook. 3,500 on Instagram. 500 on YouTube. About 3,200 on LinkedIn. So over 100,000 across all my social media platforms. But that's not my greatest success. My greatest success is how many people I've helped to write a book. My greatest success is how many Black-owned businesses I've helped reach 6 figures. My greatest successes are how many Black-owned businesses I've helped to launch a business. Like my successes, you don't even know if you're looking at those numbers because those numbers don't relate what real success looks like. So just be cognitive of that as you're deciding who you want to work with. Ask for some receipts. I'm definitely saying ask for some receipts. Who would you work with? How would you help? But don't look to social media influence or those numbers to determine whether somebody is successful and can help you or not.
That's right.
That's right.
On that note, we out of here. As always, it's great to hang out with you guys live. I will, since y'all are here, I'm gonna tell y'all, give y'all this Thursday. Those of us that will be heading to the All Black National Convention will not be here specifically, but we have pre-recorded a conversation for you, so you will still get some current content, some new content. We will not be live, but still come, still tune in, still engage, still comment, still share, still thumbs up it, because we will come back to the comments and still engage with you. So make sure you still tune in on Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern for a premiere conversation that we're going to be having at that time. The rest of you, we'll see you in Orlando at the All Black National Convention this weekend, live and in person. So hope to see you guys there again. If you see us there, please come up, say hi, let us know that you watched the show. We would love to chat with you, talk to you, take a picture with you. And so until we meet again, be blessed, be safe, be one.